Konbanwa, minasan. Kyo desu. So I was talking with my best friend, Edita-san, who also helps me run this channel. And he mentioned a concept to me that I never heard about before, which is called Oya Gacha. I know gacha machines are that machine that you put, a quarter in America at least, or 100 yen. You twist the knob and you get like a little prize. And it's common in America as well. But this term Oya Gacha means that if you have bad parents or life kind of twisted the knob of the gacha, you got a bad deal. Meaning that like your parents are horrible, you grew up in a poor family, so people say like you got a bad gacha or Oya Gacha, And I think with our heavily marketed social media, it makes things worse since comparison is basically what everyone does nowadays. And Edita was telling me how a lot of Japanese people would say, they have a bad gacha because, their parents are poor or, maybe one of their parents are alcoholics, and you look at other kids and it seems like they have a better off life. So you say, oh, they got a better gacha than you did. I don't like this mindset because it leads to feeling like a victim. And I've said that countless times on this channel, how I don't like victimhood at all. Because it stunts your growth and it makes you focus on things and other people when you can be using that energy to better your life. And I always say that no matter what, people will always have disadvantages in life. You're not tall enough, you're not skinny enough, you can't sing good, you can't play sports good, you can't play an instrument good, you're not good at counting money or managing money, you're not good at your job. There's always something that's going to be a disadvantage. You come from a certain part of the country that are, people are known to be stupid. You come from a certain country where, you're known to be violent and you have a reputation of being, evil or bad or whatever. Like everyone has some kind of hindrance or hurdle that they have to overcome in life. I'll use me for an example. I grew up in a very dysfunctional family. My parents are divorced. I never grew up seeing my mom and my dad living together since I was very young. By the time they divorced, my mom was on welfare, single mother, so I never grew up without a dad. So I never had a male influence, especially when I was a teenager and in high school, in those vital moments for a young man's life, to see a good example of what a man is supposed to be. I grew up poor. There's many times we didn't have food in the household. There was times where the light cut off, the water cut off. There was times I was starving at night. At one point I wasn't doing well in school. I thought I was stupid. My mom would tell me that I wouldn't graduate because of how stupid I was. I had my siblings say hurtful stuff to me that had affected me for years. I was homeless. Sadly, I had a parent that didn't know how to manage money right, and eventually that led us to being on the street. I was left on the street by my mom to fend for my own because, she got mad at me one day and just left me on the street. I've been on my own since I was about 20 years old, and it wasn't easy. I got overweight from eating too much fast food because I had I don't want to call it eating disorder, but I did eat to comfort myself for the times I was depressed and, really beaten up by life. I didn't graduate college. I dropped out of college because, I'm like, this is not for me. Being seen as a failure by every other person, looking around, looking at all my friends who have stable jobs and they have a place to live. And I'm the person who's living with a racist who is saying all kind of nonsense about me. And he's a drunk too, I remember those times where I had a job at the hospital and I had to take 4 buses to work. I had to take a 2-hour commute to get to work and a 2-hour commute to get home. And by the time you get home, it's like you're exhausted and you have to wake up again for work. At one point I got my car stolen. Just when my car broke down, I had to tow it to a certain place, and that car was gone. I filed a police report, called every towing company in the area. No one had it, so someone stole my car. I was scammed out of almost $2,000 worth of money, my bank account going in negative. I had a lot of health issues that are coming up. And I say all that to say that I was blaming everyone else for my issues in life. I looked at everyone else and say, man, I wish I had a loving family. I wish I had a mom and dad that loved me, that checked up on me. I wish I wasn't poor. I wish I wasn't, in the situation I'm in, working at dead-end jobs. And I wish I had it better. I was in that mindset where I was hating other people, for their success. I was jealous of my friends for them having a place to live while I was on the street. I was jealous of my friends who got married and started families, and here I am, a broke 25-year-old person. I've been through that, but all that time I was blaming everyone else. I was blaming my mom, I was blaming my family, my dad, I was blaming friends who backstabbed me, friends who talked about me behind my back, people who made fun of me. I was just blaming everyone else. But it's not until a certain part where I realized that I was the problem. All that energy I was using to compare myself to other people and hate other people, I could have been using to better my life. And it really wasn't until I hit rock bottom that I realized that I was a problem. And I'm not saying that horrible stuff doesn't happen to people. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys who are watching have been through horrible stuff. But the point is, what do you do? I can sit here complaining about life all day long, saying how it's unfair, but what does that do? It doesn't change my circumstance. It just makes me more aware that I have a problem. You're more aware of the problem, but it's not a problem. It's not solving the problem. So with the whole gotcha thing, it's like you're comparing yourself to other people, saying, it's not fair that you have a better family. It's not fair that you have parents who love you and whatever. But I always tell people, it's not about how you start, it's how you end. For example, Robert Downey Jr., who played Iron Man in Disney movies, one of the most famous actors in the planet. A lot of people don't know this man grew up in poverty. Him and his dad were drug addicts. They used to, I believe they used to rob people. He spent time in jail. He had a horrible upbringing. But look at him now. He's a multi-millionaire, famous actor. He's not a drug addict anymore. He came out of rehab. He's drug free. He turned something that was bad in a negative situation and made something of himself. That should tell you that no matter how you start, you can always end on a positive note. Look at me now. I'm not necessarily where I want to be, but I'm definitely leagues ahead of where I used to be when I was broke, when I was in poverty, when I was overweight, when I was complaining all the time and blaming everyone else for my problems. Even my friend Editor, who does his channel, his dad was a high school dropout. His parents had him at a young age and they had to struggle. But honestly, now looking back, they never graduated college, but his parents are making a lot of good money compared to all their other colleagues who went to college and graduated. They had 6 kids, and, in a Japanese family, having 6 kids is unheard of, but all their kids are well off. They're all good. And my business partner, Editor, we both have a very successful YouTube channel, So for me, that's a clear sign. No matter how you come from, where you come from, you can make it in life. But not only that, you go through the things you go through because you need to have a voice to overcome. You go through what you go through to overcome and help other people who've been through the same things that you've been through. There's a million other people who are struggling with the same thing, and you're going through what you go through because you have a story to tell. And your story can help set other people free and free them from the bondages that they've been through, I can look to someone and be like, yeah, I've been homeless. I'll show you how I got out of it. Yeah, I've been broke. Yeah, I've been unhealthy. I'm going to show you how to get out of it. That's why you've been through what you've been through, is to make you stronger. And it hurts. Yeah, it hurts. And would I go through what I went through again? Heck no. I would never do that. But the point is, what I'm trying to say is, don't compare yourself to other people. Everyone's story is different. Samuel L. Jackson, a very popular actor in America, his career didn't take off until he was in his 50s. Or if you're talking about Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, Colonel Sanders was at one point was the most popular fast food franchise in America. It took him well into his 60s before his business took off, but he never gave up. Everyone's story is different. Some people reach higher than others or they reach their prime faster than others, but everyone's story is different. You can't compare yourself to someone else because you are not that person. Your story is still being written, so you shouldn't count yourself out, but stop comparing yourself to other people. Everyone has problems. And someone can look at you and wish I could have your life, because I'd rather deal with the problems you have than the problems I have. And just because you're rich and have a lot of money don't mean your life is perfect. You may be a rich kid in a rich family, but your parents may be neglectful. They don't talk to you. They're not emotionally there to help you, So comparisons suck. And victimhood, all it does is it cripples you, and it stuns your growth. It stuns your growth. And my thing to you is, look at the positive things that have happened to you in your life and count your blessings, because there's someone else who wishes they could have the life you have. So don't compare yourself to other people. Bottom line. So let me end this video before it gets too long. So if you guys like the video, please smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Also hit that bell as well to get notified whenever we post a video. Arigatou gozaimasu. Minasan. じゃあね。